Hey everyone, welcome to Day Deal on Display. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Seidio Surface case for the HTC Evo 4G LTE phone. You are more than welcome to check out the Surface at any time over at its official website. That is going to be located at www.seidioonline.com. As always, we encourage you to check us out at our own site as well at www.daydeal.com. So let's go and start off this video by giving you some tech specs for the Surface case on the Evo 4G LTE, and here they are in front of us. Please keep in mind that we took these measurements ourselves. They're not meant to be 100% accurate, merely approximations. We just wanted to give you guys an idea of what to expect when you own the Surface for your phone. Starting with the weight of the case, that is going to come in at 27 grams. That goes up to 75 grams if you use the optional belt clip holster. The length of the case is 138 millimeters. Its width 73 millimeters. Its depth 12.5 millimeters. What does this mean to you in the real world? This is going to be a net change against the naked phone, and that is at 3.2 millimeters to the length, 4.1 millimeters to the width, and 3.6 millimeters, I should say, to the depth of the Evo 4G LTE. And those are the unofficial measurements. Hopefully you guys find that information useful. Now the Surface is available in 5 different colors, 4 of the 5 in front of us right now. Starting on the left hand side, we are going to have amethyst purple, to the right of that royal blue, and to the right of that black, and finishing off with garnet red. The one special color that we will be looking at in detail in today's video is going to be this right here. This is glossed white. This is a limited run color, meaning that if you really like it, you have to buy it sooner than later, because once they run out of stock of these, they will not be making any more. Whereas the other 4 colors, if there's a demand for them, they will restock them, they will remanufacture them. But this glossed white, once it's out, it is out for good. Now the belt clip holster attached to the case that you see on the back right there is optional. It's an optional accessory or add-on. Okay, you can buy the Surface case by itself. You can also buy the belt clip holster that works with the Surface case by itself. Do not recommend that you do this. Reasons being is because then you have to place 2 separate orders. Not only do you have to buy the case itself and the belt clip holster, you have dual shipping costs. They're also priced more expensively by themselves, whereas if you bought them in the combo kit, which is also available, that includes the case and the holster, and it's also available in 5 colors. It's a lot cheaper, and it's one shipping. Okay, so heads up right there. If you feel like you can use the belt holster, just buy the combo kit from the get-go. So I am going to go and remove that clip for now and talk about it a little bit later in the video. Now my autofocus is doing a good job of actually putting the white case we have in front of us front and center, so I'm not going to go and move this stuff in the background. Leave it there for you guys. Let's go and talk about the Surface case in detail. So this is a 2-piece slider polycarbonate case for your Evo 4G LTE. It's a pretty unique design because many brands out there no longer carry slider cases. Reasons being is some folks don't necessarily like the fit. They feel that slider cases, once you actually put them on the phone, they're very hard to remove, and also they interfere with screen protectors, which there is some truth to that. Okay, if you have a difficult time removing this case from the phone, let me just go and show you a little trick right there. You see that little symbol that Seidio has graciously put on their case? Push that down as hard as you can, and then use your thumb and middle finger and hold on to the sides like such, and then pull it apart. That's how you actually remove it, because that little key right there goes into that little groove, and that's how it holds in place. Okay, all you have to do is loosen that, and then you are golden. Now flipping it over and looking at the interior of the Surface case, you notice that there's a thin layer of microfiber slash suede-like material. This is a newer addition, or newer version I should say, to the Surface line, because this one is a little bit finer than what we're used to seeing on previous Surface cases. This is a good thing because this attracts less lint. It also attracts less particulate matter, which turns this into sandpaper if you let it accumulate over time. So kudos to Surface for making this a little bit cleaner, so to speak. Other than that, not really much else to say. Polycarbonate as material is nice in protecting your phone. It's thin, it's lightweight, it's also flexible, which means that after repeated drops, it shouldn't crack as easily than your typical LDPE or HDPE plastic material. I'm going to go and show you all the openings and coverings right now on our dummy phone, so let's go and do that. I do have to move these guys out of the way so that way the camera focuses correctly. Let's go and pull that apart and slide it onto our phone. Now I mentioned earlier in the video that this interferes with screen protectors. I'm going to go and show you why right now before I get things rolling. Since this is a slider case, if you have a screen protector that is covering more than what you see right there, where the black bezeled edge area ends, then that slider case is going to go ahead and just bubble up the screen protector while you install it. Okay. Now, Seidio does sell their own screen protector, which we highly recommend you look at if you want to use one in conjunction with the case, because theirs is made specifically to fit their products, meaning that it won't actually go up against the edges. But if you already have one on there and you really like it, or maybe you just paid really good money for it and you like the way it looks, maybe the service may not be for you, okay? Because chances are it is going to bubble up that screen protector. I'm letting you guys know right now. Now, continuing on with the 360 tour, you will notice that the Surface does create a pretty decent lip on the front of the Evo 4G LTE. Not the biggest thing in the world, but it's thick enough and even enough where if you happen to rest your phone on its face like so, it is going to be slightly elevated up and away from the surface you are resting it against. Moving on to the top of the case, you have an opening for the noise cancellation microphone as well as the audio jack, and that's actually not that recessed in there. So straight as well as angle connector tips should work just fine. There's a covering for the power button on the top. It's very, very thin, so it's very easy to press. Should still be clicky for most folks out there. Moving on to this side, you see the opening for the USB port. It does actually have kind of a tapered cutout to it, which is always nice. Moving on to the other side, we have a covering for the volume up and down rocker switch, as well as that mysterious button, which unfortunately I do not know what it functions on the Evo 4G LTE, so please let me know in the comments. I think that's the camera button for whatever it is. There's also a covering for that right there. Moving on to the bottom, opening for the microphone. Pretty small, but it does do its job. Let's go and flip it on to its back. You can also see the opening for the speaker. Moving that down. Opening for the built-in kickstand, which is nice, as well as the camera lens and the LED flash. Now, the opening for the kickstand, unfortunately, is a little bit recessed. It's already pretty difficult to remove this kickstand on the Evo 4G LTE, so you're going to have to, of course, use your nails to do that, but it is pretty functional, and it still works just fine with the case on there, okay? So let's go and move on to the belt clip holster right now and talk about this. So this is your standard run-of-the-mill Seidio design. Okay, it's a 180-degree belt clip, meaning that it rotates 90 degrees to the left as well as 90 degrees to the right. It is a dual spring-loaded hinge that you see right there. There we go, nice and focused. Now, Seidio has redesigned this a little bit to make it more sturdy, so kudos to them for doing so. These springs are a little bit thicker than they used to be, and they're also going through a metal rod instead of a plastic rod, which is nice. You'll also notice that the little padding area right here for the belt clip is a little bit larger than it used to be. The footprint, if you will, is a little bit larger, so that's better. So it clasps onto stuff a little bit more securely, okay? So that's cool. This is a claw type of belt clip holster, meaning that little claw on top right there is necessary to hold the phone in place. And unfortunately, this is a face-in design only. It is not face-out. So this is how it should look. Now, we like the belt clip holster pretty much for all intents and purposes and all it does for the phone as well as the case. However, we're just not too fond of this type of design where it is required for the claw to be there to hold the case and the phone in place. Reasons being is because it's very easy to disturb this claw, and the phone literally just drops right out. That's not a good thing that you see right there. And if you actually have this on your body, on your person, okay, and most people have it on their sides, it's very easy to rub up against a wall and kind of loosen that and have your phone drop up. It's also very easy to rub up against people. Maybe you work in an office environment, I should say, where there are narrow hallways, and then you try to do that little dance when someone's coming toward you. You don't want to get in their way. They don't want to get in yours. You rub up against them or against the wall. Same problems. If that moves just a little bit, your phone is going to come right out. Okay, so you have to take it for what it is. It's useful to have around. You just have to be really careful. On other versions of a Seidio belt clip, they actually have a locking mechanism, which is kind of cool because if you lock it into place, and there's no chance of that happening if you have it in the locked position. So let's go and bring the other colors into view and give you our closing thoughts and comments about this product. Now, the Surface is ideal for folks out there that like a very lightweight case that's very flexible. Okay, you can use it by itself. You can use it with the optional belt clip holster. And I do want to mention that the Seidio Surface can be turned into the Seidio Convert case. We'll be looking at that in a future video. That's actually a heavy-duty case that has the Seidio Surface as its core. It's a very unique product, and that's kind of cool because, once again, it gives you more options. It's available in 5 colors. Remember, white is a limited edition run, so if you like that white color, get it as soon as possible. And overall, it's a pretty decent 2-piece slider case. Unfortunately, it does not work well with many screen protectors out there unless it's the one provided from Seidio. So that is one of the major cons about it. And also, we wouldn't recommend this case for folks who use docks and cradles because it is a little bit difficult to remove and it can be a little bit strenuous on your hands as well as your patience if you do that every time you need to dock your phone. So check out the service over at the official website at seidioonline.com. Check us out at daydio.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as our Pinterest board. Thanks for watching as always, guys. We will see you next video review.